Welcome to the second introductory video to our study of the Dvar Malchus regarding Mashiach. As we discussed, the 12th principle of Jewish faith, according to Maimonides, is the belief in the coming of Mashiach and eagerly awaiting his coming. This, however, could be a bit confusing because there are many different topics which are associated to a certain extent with Mashiach. We hear about the Livyasan, the Shor Abar, there's the resurrection of the dead, Eliyahu Navi, different miracles, all prophecies, all different sorts of things that seem to be associated with Mashiach and things that are going to happen in the future, but we're not sure what exactly is essential to the coming of Mashiach and not. In general, we have 4 steps, and as described in the Siddur, in the Tefillas of Shabbos morning, we say, 4 different stages of Eilam Hazeh, the world the way it is now, Eilam Haba, the world of the future, Yemei Mashiach, the days of Mashiach, and Tchias HaMeisim, the resurrection of the dead. Now, the phrase Olam Haba is meant in different contexts to refer to something quite different. Over here, and in general, when we speak about Eilam Haba, it's the world to come. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist now. It exists now as well. It's the world of neshamas, of souls, after spending 120 years or so in the body. Then it goes up to the spiritual realms, and that's called Eilam Haba, not because it doesn't exist now. It does exist now, and there are souls which exist there right now. But for each individual, it's Haba, it's going to be after its period of time it spends in the body. So when we speak about this world, about souls being in bodies, really it's 3 different stages. There's the world the way it is now, there's the Yemei Mashiach, and there's Tchias HaMeisim, the resurrection of the dead. But we're still left with a number of uncertainties. What exactly defines the transfer from one stage to another? How are you supposed to tell what is really the essence of Yemei Mashiach that defines when it is that Mashiach has come? When does it end? When does it begin? And going from Yemei Mashiach to Tchias HaMeisim, so we know, obviously, that the dead are going to come to life. That's the 13th principle of Jewish faith. So we'll be able to define when that happens, when the dead come to life. But is that the only change? Will there be other miracles too? So really, the questions boil down to what is the defining essence of the days of Mashiach? And after that, Tchias HaMeisim. And the overall question is, why is it relevant to us? As in all matters of our life, we look for guidance from the Torah, that the Torah is Lashon Heirah, that it instructs us how we should act and in what we should believe. But the Torah is very vast. Which area should we look at? Should we look in the words of the prophets first? And there are different levels of Torah interpretation, as well known from the acronym Pardes, Pshat, Remez, Drush, and Sod. And there are Teres Achsidis, which illuminates each of these 4 levels of Torah interpretation. But when it comes down to the world of action, first and foremost, the foundation of everything is halacha. From the word halicha, which means the path in which we walk, to know first and foremost how it is we should be acting, and in practical terms, what it is we should be believing, we should look in halacha. And when it comes to halacha, to Jewish law, there's only really one place where there's a comprehensive discussion of this subject, and that's in the Rambam's Mishnah Torah. His comprehensive legal work, unlike other legal works, which include only those laws necessary to know how to live our lives before the coming of Mashiach, Mishnah Torah includes all the laws, including the ones which are relevant in the days of Mashiach. And in his 1,000 chapters of Mishnah Torah, he devotes the last 2 to a description of Melech HaMashiach and Yemei Mashiach in the last 2 chapters. Now, these 2 chapters, for various reasons, have not been intensively learned and studied and analyzed throughout the ages as other areas of Mishnah Torah. There seem to be many details which are not 100% relevant and difficult to figure out why they are important. There's also a lot of controversy involved, certainly among the non-Jews of the world who censored major parts of this very controversial, sensitive area, And even among Jews, the discussion of Mashiach was looked in many circles for various reasons as being dangerous and irrelevant, and better it shouldn't be spoken about. So when the Rebbe said that we should study intensely what the Torah says about Mashiach and Geula, the first thing he gave personally to all the Chassidim was the Dvar Malchus, which was an analysis of what halacha says about Mashiach in Geula, and that's why it's so important to study. Just as we saw by the Rebbe's Rashi Sichos, that first he explained the Pshuto Shel Mikra, the literal, simple meaning of the verse and what Rashi explains, only then can we understand properly the deeper meaning, the Yener Shel Teira, which is contained within these explanations. So too when it comes to Mashiach, once we understand properly the essence of what Mashiach is all about, according to halacha, all the other matters regarding Mashiach fit into place. And once we truly understand the nature of Mashiach, according to halacha, our belief is totally different. And according with that, our yearning is totally different. And this has a positive impact on our attitude in daily life and the way we act. So please join us for our next video, in which we'll explore the common thread which runs through these two chapters of Rambam and how it relates to us and our lives.